Briefly summarize your education and work experience to date.
So, education and work experience. So, I grew up here, 4 generations, a Martin County native. I grew up in the rural lands of Indiantown, went to Warfield Elementary, went to Indiantown Middle School, I went to South Fork High School. And then I went on to University of Florida, and I thought the world was going to be grand because I was going to get out of Martin County and I was going to do something outside of Martin County. And I briefly realized that Martin County is the best place to be ever. I came back and I started a newspaper in Indiantown. I worked for Willie Gary for many years, public relations, when I was 23 years old. And that is how I got involved in Martin County politics, in the airport, in the community, and rooted, and I eat, sleep, live, and breathe this community. I raised my 2 teenagers here. I've always been involved. It's something that I have a true passion for, and I'll never, ever, ever let the community aside. My interest, I'm a 4th-generation Martin County native, and my interest is protecting our quality of life. That is what I do. That is why I'm rooted here. That is why I do what I do. I didn't just wake up yesterday and say, I want to be a county commissioner. I've been involved since the 1990s because I love this community. I care about the community, and I have a track record that I have a proven success of doing great things on volunteer organizations, on this board, and maybe we'll have an opportunity to talk later. The T.C. Palm editorial said, she's done a pretty darn good job, which I think is a nice thing for the local newspaper to say. She's done a darn good job because she's represented the interests of her people, and she's been attentive, and she's been responsive, and she's been there every step of the way. So, my qualifications for this job is I've lived in this community. I've experienced the challenges. I'm a mom that raises 2 kids here. They go to school here. I went to school here. I have a job here. I work really hard. I have to support myself in the same economy that every other taxpayer has to support themselves in. Every decision that I will ever make will be based on what's best for me, for your family, for all of our families. And that is what I hold the standard to. When I spend your tax money, it's because it's my tax money too. So every decision that I make up there will always be invested in our quality of life because, yes, I went away to college and I came back here, but this is the place that I was born, and this is the place that I plan on dying, and this is the place that I will always represent. So when it comes to quality of life, you may not agree every step of the way, but I will always make the best decision that I think is for the long term of Martin County. And that's a proven track record. I love this place. I will do what's best. Again, my money is your money, your tax dollars. Those are my money too. Everything that you pay in, I pay in. I will represent you wisely. And you know what? I will represent you honorably. I will work my heart out, and I will do the things that, like every working parent, needs to be done. So again, it's quality of life. I will represent the taxpayers and our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods, my district, I think is one of the best represented districts because I love each and every single member of that district. When they come to me and they say they have a drainage problem, I want to get out there and I want to fix it. Golden Gate, I want to do what's right for Golden Gate. I want to make sure that they have the proper drainage and the proper housing. And I will go up to Tallahassee and I will go up to Washington and I will fight for them. I will bring back a couple $1 million in septic to sewer because that is what they need. And I will do whatever it takes. St. Lucie Boulevard, when they're having traffic calming problems, I will go to the county staff and we will try to fix it. That is a proven track record. I will do it over and over. and Coral Gardens is next. I'm going to go to Tallahassee, and we're going to get $8 million to retrofit septic to sewer. And I don't think there's anything to be said except for proven track record. And my biggest claim is that I will fix your problems. Monterey subdivision, this is a neighborhood that has no voice. They were never going to be represented in the newspaper. They were not represented, but they had serious problems with contaminated wells. And I went to DEP, and I'll give credit to the city of Stuart because we were partners in that. The DEP and the city of Stuart, we were partners in that. It was the most efficient transition. And these were not people that were emailing and complaining. They were people that needed help. They needed help right then. And I said, we're going to do it. We got them transitioned in a matter of 18 months. And that to me, and I'm not a fan of the speed of your bureaucracy. I'm not a fan of the way government works always. That was the best example of the way government works. 18 months, we got those people with no voice off of contaminated wells onto sewer.
Real quick, Stacey, because you only have 3.5 minutes left. If you can, we want to get us through as many questions as we can tonight. So please answer the questions, and then we'll move from there.
Okay, next.
Next question. Why did you decide to run for this office, and why do you feel you're well suited to the responsibility of governance?
Well, I think I just started going into that because I'm responsive. I've been there every step of the way. I've been there for, since the 1990s. I didn't just wake up one day and say, I want to be a county commissioner and I want to sit here. I've been there. I've represented you in your neighborhoods. And it's neighborhoods, like I just said in the Monterey subdivision, they didn't have a voice. They weren't emailing. They weren't complaining. They had a real problem. They had contaminated wells. And we went in and I assimilated DEP and City of Stuart, and we got that problem solved. Water quality in Martin County. It's one of our most significant problems in Martin County, and we are working on it. I have personally been up to Tallahassee and in Washington, D.C., and trying to bring home grants because every dollar that your tax dollars leverage, the county puts in a couple dollars, and every grant dollar that we get, we leverage your tax dollars.
Thank you. Briefly summarize your involvement in the Martin County community to date. Please include volunteer positions, civic organizations, charitable causes, leadership roles, and any other activities you feel are relevant.
Well, I'll just say that, I've been here since I grew up here. So from the day that I started working at 15 and 14 at Martin County Parks and Recreation in Indiantown. That was my very first job. Seminole Inn, I was a hostess at 13. And then when I came back here, I have volunteered. I volunteered for different civic organizations. I volunteered for South Fork Film and Industry. My kids' school, I volunteered for our church. I've been the homeroom mom. I eat, sleep, and live everything my kids tell me about education. I've been on the Healthy Start Coalition, Metropolitan Planning Organization, Treasure Coast Regional Planning, Indian River Lagoon Council. I was the recent past chair. So it takes a lot of time and energy to be involved in all of those while managing your family and while, by the way, supporting yourself and working. So, I think it's important to point out that everybody has on a board has their perspective. You can't have all like members on a board. So it's important to have people that have different perspectives in life, whether people have been involved in this industry or no industry or worked their tail off and have a perspective. I think it's important to always have board members that bring different things to the table, because when you have 5 different board members that bring different things to the table, then you can look at items and you can discuss what's best for our residents. And that's always the most important, is what is most important for our residents, and what is best for our taxpayers.
Thank you.
That's 10 minutes on the dot.